Most congratulations to Aotearoa and to the world for obviously their attention, energy and focus around this obviously COVID crisis, and it is a real honour and privilege to be a Kiwi today, leading the way, I guess, in our response to COVID. As Kyle has so generously sort of spoken about, I am the co-founder and chief energy officer of INNOV8HQ. I'm actually sitting in residence in my space right now. So you're not going to get a PowerPoint out of me because I sort of figured it probably makes more sense that you get to see our whare here. I want to thank MUV Talks for inviting me for this privileged position to talk tonight about the reinvention and following COVID, or as I call it, the forced pause. And I think, first and foremost, it has been I always sort of think I thrive in crisis. Now, I've got to be careful what I wish for, but when I guess things like this sort of happen, it takes me back into, it stimulates a bit of that innovative or that entrepreneurial spirit to find a solution. And when we were looking at this theme around reinvention, or even I'd call it reset, which is probably more topical, we actually technically, we're a co-working space. For those of you that are familiar with it, the earlier term was it's shared workspace. In light of what's basically happened now, given the attention, energy and focus around workspace environment, what we've actually had to sort of do is reframe it to flexible workspaces for the new workforce. By default, co-working has lived in this generation of remote working and flexible working for years. This isn't new. It's fairly new to Dunedin and Ōtepoti, but not to the rest of the world. And in my previous life working for Vodafone New Zealand, if I was to reflect back on what it's kind of felt like, I guess, as a business owner, for anyone that's obviously poured their heart into a business, when you have something of this, we've never been through anything like this in our lives. I'd have to say, first and foremost, my first reaction was, hallelujah, this is a bit of a blessing, because my schedule was through the roof. Anyone that knows me, I'm a high taskmaster, and I had 50,000 things that I needed to do in the youth space. And so having a bit of a break for the last 2 months was a bit of a blessing. And then obviously coming back into the office here to re-stimulate the business economy. As we're growing, we're actually also helping businesses reset and rebuild again. And so that is, and it's exciting, and it's also comforting to know that we're all in the same boat. Probably one of the biggest things that dawned on us was, our whole kaupapa, or our purpose within INNOV8HQ was around what I'd call, leaning on our indigenous or our cultural heritage with the whole business marae concept. And today, more than ever, being a collective is the most important thing that's going to take us through into our new world and help us circumnavigate. We cannot do this in isolation. We've all got to paddle this waka together. We have no idea what it looks and feels like. It is a crystal ball moment, but I think collectively, I guess the value that we have and what we love in a space like this is we're doing it as a team, and everybody has a different lens and also a different, a different perspective on, I guess, what the future looks like. But we're still in the early days of it now. We are basically, we're hitting level 2, but nearly hitting level 1. So I guess we're going to see a lot of that. One of the things that probably we've had to focus on is we haven't really technically had to reinvent. We've probably just had to re-engage how we're talking to our audiences around flexible workspaces. It's come down to the safety. So now it's paramount around when we're looking at workspaces, social distancing, high hygiene factors, and we have a COVID care protocol in our space. So for anyone that owns an office space, the COVID care protocol is absolutely, a priority for us now, which we've never had to worry about in the past. Beyond that, I think it's also the attention, energy and effort that goes into our mental health. So for everybody that's coming out the other side of COVID, everybody has been impacted in some way, shape or form from a disruption and complete and utter freak out for many, and a lot of anxiety in and around it. So I guess for us, the focus is beyond the real estate. We want to make sure that your whole order, your well-being is taken care of, and that you're in you're in this whare, you're nice and safe, you're you're secure, and we're in this as a team. I guess, looking at, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure what, I forgot to turn my clock on. Sorry. So I'm not sure, so go like this. I think probably the biggest thing is we are in for some really, we're in for an exciting ride over the next few weeks and months. And I think, the luxury where we're at right now is, going back to the fact that we're doing it as a community-led thing, and it's everything we sort of live and breathe here at Innovate HQ. We're starting to see some wonderful innovation and people having to pivot really rapidly. And for those that are struggling, I'd like to think we can get in behind them. So, yeah, I think for us, beyond our real estate, we're business mentors, business consultants, and we're in this just like everybody else. This isn't a nice, safe ride. It's going to be a lot of, and that we're paddling hard in this waka at the moment. We're grateful for wonderful leadership from Auntie Cindy, as we know her, and grateful for what she's been able to, provide us with to support us over the next period of time. And I'm just trying to think as to, I think hopefully, I'm not sure if I'm at 7 minutes now, but I'm kind of hoping that, I've sort of shared a little bit about it. Sorry. Yeah.